What's going on, guys? My name is Gregandcin. Today we're going to be taking a look at something really interesting. This is pretty cool. This is called Steemit, and we're going to be looking at one of its sister sites, D.Tube. These are cool social media platforms that I think everybody should know about, at least if they're smaller content creators on the internet, or at least want to find some stuff that might be a little bit more niche. So what exactly is Steemit? So Steemit is powered by the Steam platform, blockchain, etc. And basically, everything is kind of laid out in this, what I would consider a Reddit-like format almost. As you can see, we have this upvote button. There is some comments. I don't know how the comments are sorted specifically, but you see this money symbol right here on all the posts, and this is very interesting. So whenever you click on a post, I'm not currently logged in at the moment, but if you were logged in, let's say you scroll down, you just read everything, and you like this, you click on the upvote button or wherever it is right here, and you add to the monetary payout that the creator of this post gets. And you yourself, if you monitor everything correctly, in a sense, you yourself will earn more power when it comes to voting. So the more power you have when you vote, the higher monetary payout you will give to this person, and they get that in the form of Steam power and Steam money, coins. There's a couple different currencies, and I will show you a little bit in one of these accounts as well, but it's a very interesting system. You can see on Steemit, you can see the total views that this has gotten, all the responses, and responses themselves can get payouts now, but usually a little bit lower because people aren't voting on comments as much as they probably, I think, should, in my opinion, just because they only have a couple votes. But as you can see, usually a main post will get a lot of votes in general. If we take a look, you can see that you just see all the usernames of everybody who has voted, whether it be plus or minus. I don't know if you can actually see minuses, but I think this is pretty interesting because it's a very open social media compared to almost everything else that we have right now, whether it be Facebook, Twitter, even Reddit. There's just a lot of transparency when it comes to Steemit itself. So back here at the home page, you can see this is the top trending post by Frederica. I believe that is the Steam power, the reputation you can see right there. And in the category, there are different tags and categories that you can put things in. All of them can have multiple, as you saw previously. And let's take a look at another one. Dream a Dream. Some of these are text posts and some of these can be other things. Let's scroll all the way down. As you can see, people have a lot of things that they put at the bottom of their post, so you can be like, oh, take a look at all of these cool things that I make, whether it be stories, whether it be video tutorials, etc. And right here we see there's tags. I believe you're limited to about 5 or 6 whenever you post your content on Steemit itself, so you're not going to be metadata spamming like you would on YouTube if you were posting a video, or Tumblr if you were trying to tag as many things as possible in the tags. So the sign up process for Steemit is actually a little bit difficult, and what I think makes the community a little bit more niche, because there is about a several day time window. So if you click on sign up, you make your name, let's just type a whole bunch of things and continue. It'll ask for a valid email address, but then once that happens, it'll ask for phone number, and after that, you just kind of have to wait a couple days. This is because it costs money to make an account into the Steam platform. There is some wallet fees that you have to pay. If you were to skip this process, there are other ways to get to it, but this time period allows for a free account to be made in this relatively small community. Like, if you take a look at all the new stuff, there's just a lot of different things. Some people are a little bit smaller, they might be newer to all this stuff, and I don't think you'll find as polished content as you would on some of these bigger sites, but I think that's okay. There's a lot of new stuff that's happening, and as you can see, because this is powered by cryptocurrency and blockchain technologies, here we have somebody talking about Bitcoin and just a whole bunch of other stuff. ICOs, I don't know exactly what that means, but I know that's connected to cryptocurrency. But I think this is just a really cool platform. Now, if we move over to the sister site, D.Tube, this is actually really interesting. In order to sign up for a D.Tube account, you have to have a Steam account, a Steemit account, and this is powered by a slightly different technology. There is some tags. It does follow some of the same formats that the main Steemit site has. in itself. But if we take a look at this little settings icon, you can see there's voting powers and stuff like that. Not safe for work videos, because a lot of this stuff just isn't moderated. It's up to the community themselves to moderate everything. There's not any sort of censorship, as they would put it. But there's this technology called IPFS. Now, IPFS, in a sense, is just this distribution of where the videos are served at. Think of it sort of like a BitTorrent technology, but not exactly like that. Take a look at the About page on D.Tube. You can see you have that crypto incentive. So if you upload your videos, you're going to upvote or you're going to comment and all these other things. And you do get the voting power in the Steem blockchain, and you actually do get cryptocurrency that you can sell on different markets. There's no ads on the site, and everything that you see is transparent. This IPFS technology that it uses is the distributed web peer-to-peer hypermedia protocol, and this is kind of not necessarily something you will see on a lot of websites, just because it requires a lot more computers and allows the user themselves to help host content. Everything's not as centralized as it usually is on the web, and that is pretty interesting. Don't know too much about the technology, except like YouTube and other social media platforms, the technology is not centralized. Now, there are a couple things that you need to understand before you enter this community. One, it is very niche. There is not a lot of difference in content internally on the site, but compared to other sites such as Reddit, such as your YouTubes, there's not these bigger communities. Like, gaming's not as popular, at least in my perspective. It's all about these things that usually you won't find be in the mainstream. There's people who come over from YouTube, as you can see. They're just like, oh, look at all these things that we've done. We have a couple of videos from just channels that might be exclusive to D.Tube. There might be other stuff, like I believe the David Pakman show or something like that is really into here. And that's just very interesting, in my honest opinion. As you can see, we have the needle drop. This dude's really big on YouTube, but he doesn't have too much of a following on here on D.Tube and the Steemit community. As you can see, there's a difference between the people who use D.Tube and Steemit compared to YouTube and maybe Twitter or Reddit. There is some overlap, but for the most part, the people who are really into this website and technology are probably a little bit more into cryptocurrency, the blockchain, all this other cool stuff. Now, if you're thinking, wow, this is a really cool idea, I like the idea behind the technology, or I want to get away from YouTube, good. I would definitely recommend you sign up for D.Tube, get to know the community, try and find some small content creators that you might like a lot, or just post your own videos if you're into that sort of thing. Unfortunately, let's take a look at the Needle Drops channel, for example. I mean, this dude has had a decent amount of payout. He does have some decent voting power and reputation. Overall, a lot of his videos just are making a lot of money, even though the numbers might have looked a little bit better before this huge crypto crash that has happened over the past couple of weeks. I just don't think that this is a great get-rich-quick scheme. You should never go into content creation like this and think it should be get-rich-quick. But and as you can see, even somebody with such a massive following, with like over 1 million subscribers on YouTube, lots of people on Twitter that follow him, Instagram, there's just not a lot for him to do here, at least for the month or so that he has been on D.Tube. Now, if we take a look at what he has done on Steemit outside of that, you can see some of his YouTube videos do kind of make it on here as their own post, I believe. Some of these might just be D.Tube videos, like this is a D.Tube video, and other things like that. People do post their YouTube videos, they do get some sort of compensation for that. I believe Rerez, which is a smaller channel that takes a look at some older stuff, has a lot of D.Tube exclusive stuff, has write-ups that are just transcripts of his videos that go up on YouTube. Lots of cool things. But let's take a look at the wallet just for a second so you can kind of understand what's happening. So Steem is tradable tokens that can be transferred anywhere, so that's what you can put either into the actual cryptocurrency itself or your voting power. As you can see, he has 531.204 Steam, so that gives me a lot of voting power inside the Steemit community. So if you were to upvote somebody's post, it would get a lot of revenue. And other things like that, you have the Steam Dollar, these can be saved or traded, lots of really cool stuff. So whenever somebody votes or something, new coins are printed, so I don't know if there is a max amount of coins for all this audience retention and interaction, but it doesn't seem to affect the value of Steam that much as well. So I find that fairly interesting for anybody who has invested in this cryptocurrency, whether it be just for the technology itself or for, you know, some monetary gain, but don't go into this looking for a lot of monetary gain. Now, I do have some problems with the site itself. There does seem to be some sort of infighting with some users. Like, one big user can make a big storm, and it can just like pop up in a lot of places. And I believe there was a post a couple days ago about some dude manipulating or accusing somebody of manipulating the system and just gaining more money for each other. And I don't know. If this exploitation is actually possible, then I think some of the creators of the technology and people who actively run the site need to look into stuff like that, so manipulation of these coins just isn't possible. I think all the stuff that you see here, all these cool posts, it's pretty cool in a sense, and watching it kind of have this infighting and this crumble because there's not a lot of moderation, that can hurt the site's ability for whether it be new users in the long run or just people who have been on the site for a while or and are just sick of maybe not seeing this good content that should come up actually come up. But that's about user interaction. How do I feel about the sites themselves? Well, Steemit, everything you've seen, I'm pretty okay with how the site's laid out. But D.Tube, that's another story. D.Tube is a YouTube alternative in a sense. They even say so in their about. But let's just open up again. Let's go to a needle drop video right here. We're just going to mute this real quick. And I want to take a look at some of the settings. So as you can see, you scroll over, it can show you like a video bar. I don't know if there is supposed to be any preview window that pops up. I do not believe so at this moment. That might be an added thing, but right now we only have 480p in source, and I don't know if that's a limitation of the technology that's being used, again, that IPFS or something else. We have a playback rate that can be changed, so if you want to listen to your videos faster, that's pretty cool. But again, 480p is watchable by most people, and then we have source. So if somebody has a massive file, whether maybe it be like 1080p, 4K, again, I understand that there might not be all that server room, the compression might not be the best on anybody's end who is trying to host the videos, but I think something needs to be done about that, so there's at least maybe like a 480p, and if source is 480p, bring it up to like 720p. Keep that as another option, because I believe anything above that might just be hit in both video quality and accessibility in general. This website does remind me of YouTube a lot in the way right here we do have the tag, so that's not hidden from you, which I think is pretty cool. With YouTube, you have to look at this stuff, and it's usually not meant for users anyways, but the API does keep track of it. We have this side tab, you can upload hot videos, a whole bunch of cool stuff, trending tags, you know, all the general social media stuff that you find nowadays, related videos. I haven't checked too much to see if this is the correct amount of related videos that you usually see, just because a lot of the content I've watched is kind of scarce, some of it's just kind of exclusive, and I haven't followed too many channels on this site. And then we have the comment section, so log in, and comments work just about as well as they do on Steemit itself. Now, the about sections, whether it be on Steemit and D.Tube, they do seem kind of limited as well because of character limits and things like that. And other than that, I don't know if I'm all too convinced about the current state of the technology, but I really cannot wait to see where it goes from here, because the community is growing, and even though we have this whole crypto dip happening right now, it'll probably balance out, and all this might hurt people like gamers who are trying to get, you know, good GPUs right now because everybody's mining. I think that this is some cool technology. This video's been a little rambling, I'm really sorry about that, but I really just wanted to talk about all this cool technology in a way that I only know how because if this was scripted, I don't think I could get everything across the way I wanted it to. Other than that, if you're watching this on YouTube, go check out the site. It'll be pretty interesting to see where all of it goes, and if you want to sign up for an account, do that. I'm going to be posting on D.Tube as much as I can. So that'll be all for me. Check out the face up in the corner to subscribe. Check out one of the videos on the side. One will be one I recommend to you. One will be one YouTube recommends to you. Leave a comment down below to just talk about all this cool technology. Check out all the links to see what I'm doing on the internet, and maybe even check me out on D.Tube. My name's gregandcin. I'm out.